Hi, guys. This is Andre, Horizon City News. And today I wanted to turn back to this November 2nd, 2023 traffic stop that happened in Horizon City, Texas with the Horizon City, Texas Police Department. It involved, the traffic stop was initially about an equipment violation. It was like a burnt out brake light, I believe, something minor about the vehicle, just an equipment violation. And it was a Class C misdemeanor. I'm still trying to find out if the court has adjudicated the case yet, whether it was dismissed or found guilty or there was a plea deal, whatever happened with it. That's a whole nother can of worms we'll open later. I called the court, and it's been very difficult for me to get that information from them. So we'll deal with that later. But for right now, I just wanted to briefly go over 3 different U.S. Supreme Court cases that I believe are relevant to this particular traffic stop that the Horizon City, Texas Police Department conducted on November 2nd, 2023. It was at the Murphy Express gas station right next to the Horizon City, Texas Walmart. And so the 3 U.S. Supreme Court cases are Rodriguez versus United States, which is from 2015, Maryland versus Wilson. The next one was Brendelin versus California, which was from 2007. And then the last one is Maryland versus Wilson, which is from 1997. And all 3 of those deal with Fourth Amendment issues dealing with traffic stops, and especially for the other last 2, Brendelin versus California and Maryland versus Wilson, they especially deal with the Fourth Amendment issues surrounding passengers in detained vehicles, passengers that are in vehicles that get detained by police, and how the Fourth Amendment treats them and their constitutional rights compared to the driver. All right, so like I said, this was a phone call that I had with Lieutenant VALDEZ, or maybe I didn't say that, but yeah, that's, as you can see from the picture here on the screen. I had a phone call. She was very patient. She gave me a lot of information, and I had a phone call with her in late November, just before Thanksgiving, and Lieutenant VALDEZ gave me all the information that she was, either allowed to give, or that she had the ability to give me. Obviously, there's certain things that get so deep in the weeds that you literally have to be a lawyer to understand some of this stuff. But she gave me all the information she could. You'll see from the phone call. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is a long video. And so anybody who's ready to sit down and listen to the whole thing, you better, grab a Snickers bar and have some time set aside if you want to listen to it all at once. Or maybe you could listen to it while you're driving somewhere. But this isn't a short video. This is a long video, and it's all audio. I mean, you can watch the screen, but all it is just a repeating picture of the traffic stop. So yeah, that's what this video is. It's the entire phone call, and the reason I'm doing that is because going forward in the future, there's certain portions of this phone call which I plan on using in future videos for various reasons. But this is just the entire phone call, the whole pizza. And then, like I said, going forward, I'll take slices of that pizza. I'm using abstract concepts here. Like, this phone call's the whole pizza. And then as I go forward and make future videos, I'll take certain slices of that pizza, that theoretical pizza, and I'll put those pizza slices into future videos. If anybody can understand the method to my madness, that's how I explain it, is with food, because I'm a fat kid. So, all right. 3 Supreme Court cases, I believe, are relevant to this traffic stop. Rodriguez versus United States, 2015, Brendelin versus California, 2007, and Maryland versus Wilson, 1997. I'm sure that there's many other cases that I'll be looking up in the future regarding this traffic stop, but those are 3 big ones right there off the top. So we'll just cover those for today. All right. So yeah, I'm really glad that the Horizon City, Texas Police Department has embraced transparency regarding this particular traffic stop. And like I said, Lieutenant VALDEZ was very patient and accommodating, taking the time to do this very long phone call. There was actually another one, which I'll be publishing later, but this is the first one. And again, this happened in late November, just before Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's about it for right now. We'll get into the three cases very briefly, just so that everybody has just some, a broad overview of the three Supreme Court cases. And then after you listen to the very short recordings about those three Supreme Court cases, the phone call will begin, and you can listen to that phone call at your convenience. So thanks for watching Horizon City News, guys. And, I know that this might not be the most exciting video regarding, my channel, because it's like, all right, what's this guy doing here? He's just obsessing over this traffic stop where there was these four men. It's like on the surface, it doesn't seem like anything, negative, like any type of misconduct happened. I'm sure that most people think that, but in my opinion, I believe there is, and I'm going to be explaining much more in the future, but I believe that, or I strongly suspect that Sergeant Rosas did not have the legal authority to extend this traffic stop. That's at the very least one of the biggest issues I have. I think there's a couple other issues that I'm going to be getting into as well, but that's one of the primary ones right there, is that I do not believe, or I strongly suspect, that Sergeant Rosas did not have the legal authority to extend this traffic stop in order to call the United States Border Patrol. I'm not 100% certain yet, but I strongly suspect, based on all the information that I'm gathering here. So that's where I'm at right now. And like I said, we'll continue with the video for now. I'm just rambling at this point, but I wanted to at least leave you guys with that, is that I strongly suspect that Sergeant Rosas did not have the legal authority to extend this traffic stop for a minor equipment violation in order to call the United States Border Patrol. And that's based on Rodriguez versus United States, which we'll get into much more of the details in the future, but I'll leave it at that. I believe that based on Rodriguez versus United States, that Sergeant Rosas should not have prolonged this minor traffic stop for an equipment violation in order to call the United States Border Patrol. That's my suspicion for right now. All right, guys. Thanks for watching Horizon City News. Let's watch these quick videos about these three Supreme Court cases, and then you can listen to the phone call. Anybody wants to reach out to me, all my contact information is in the description box below. And any comments or questions or concerns you have, you can put in the comment section below, and I will try to respond to them as soon as I possibly can, whenever it's practical, or you guys can comment amongst yourselves. That's it for right now. Thanks again for watching Horizon City News. I'll be in touch.
Maryland v. Wilson, 1997. Maryland State police officers pulled over a rental car for speeding. When pulled over, the officer noticed that the passenger, Jerry Lee Wilson, was very nervous. Wilson was asked to get out of the car. As Wilson exited the vehicle, a bag of cocaine fell out of his pocket to the ground. Wilson was arrested and charged with cocaine possession. Wilson tried to have the evidence suppressed because he argued that the police officer did not have the right to ask the passenger of the car to exit the vehicle. The case went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. In a 7-2 decision, the Supreme Court ruled that it was not a violation of the Fourth Amendment to have passengers of a vehicle exit when requested to do so by a police officer. The court extended the ruling from Pennsylvania v. Mims in 1977 to apply to all passengers within a car during a lawful stop.
Welcome to the case summary for Brindlin versus California on 4lawnotes.com. A police officer stopped a car to check the vehicle registration, although he didn't actually have any reason to believe that the car was being driven unlawfully. But when he checked with the driver on the registration, he saw that the driver had a passenger that was that the police officer recognized as being a parole violator. So the police officer arrested the passenger, and a search of the car and the driver and the passenger uncovered methamphetamine paraphernalia. And the defendant's motion to suppress was denied at the trial court level and was upheld by the California State Supreme Court because the defendant was only a passenger and was not considered subject to the seizure. The issue is whether a traffic stop subjects a vehicle passenger as well as a driver to seizure, where if the seizure is unlawful, it also violates the passenger's Fourth Amendment rights. The Supreme Court held that the police had no adequate justification to pull the car over, so it was an unlawful seizure. And they also held that the passenger was seized as well as the driver. So in testing the seizure, the court considered whether a reasonable person would have believed himself free to terminate the encounter between himself and the police officer. And they felt that the evidence showed that no reasonable passenger would have felt free to have departed the scene without the police's permission. And that concludes this case summary for Brindlin versus California on 4lawnotes.com.
Rodriguez v. United States, 2015. On March 27, 2012, a canine officer from Valley, Nebraska pulled over a vehicle on the highway at 12:06 a.m. for veering onto the shoulder. The officer requested identification from both the driver, Dennis Rodriguez, and the passenger, Scott Pullman. After running a records check on both individuals, the officer returned to the vehicle to issue a warning. After the warning, the canine officer asked the driver if he could walk his dog around the vehicle. Rodriguez refused, and the canine officer asked both men to step out of the vehicle. While walking the dog around the vehicle, the dog indicated that there were drugs in the car. A search of the vehicle produced a large bag of methamphetamine. The search took 7 to 8 minutes. Rodriguez was indicted in federal court. He moved to suppress the evidence on the grounds that the officers had no reasonable suspicion to prolong the stop and conduct a dog sniff. The case went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. In a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court ruled that the search was a violation of the Fourth Amendment. The court ruled that since the mission of the stop was completed with the issuance of a warning, it was unconstitutional to prolong the stop with a drug sniff. This made the dog sniff unrelated to the initial stop.
Horizon City Police Department, how can I help you?
Yes, is Lieutenant Valdez available?
Lieutenant Valdez?
Yes.
Who wants to speak to him?
My name's Andre.
Andre? And reference to what?
In reference to the November 2nd traffic stop that Sergeant Rojas did next to Walmart.
Okay, give me a second.
All right.
You said Lieutenant Hernandez?
Yeah, Lieutenant Valdez.
So you were in reference to the traffic stop on November 2nd, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then, so why do you need her? In reference to what? Did she stop you?
No, I'm calling about the open records request that I made about that traffic stop. I was told to contact her if I have any issues with the open records request.
Okay, perfect. Yes, sir. Have you filled out the form for the open record request?
This is an open records request which I've already submitted. So that
You already submitted
process,
the form?
the process of the open records request, from that particular aspect of it, that's already done. I've already submitted this open records request. Now that I've submitted it, the documents that I received, I have a question about a certain document that I did not receive.
Yes, sir. So the lady that takes care of the open records, she's not here right now. She'll be here until Monday morning. I don't know if you want to try calling back.
Okay, but I specifically received an email from the Horizon State Police Department that said that I'm to contact Lieutenant Valdez if I have issues with this particular open records request.
Give me a second.
Lieutenant Valdez, may I help you?
Good afternoon, Lieutenant
Hello?
Valdez. This is Andre.
Oh, hi, Andre. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm glad to be able to speak with you again. I hope you're not too busy. I just wanted to bring something up about my recent open records request. I was told to contact you if I had an issue with it.
Yeah, I was actually trying to get a hold of you yesterday because they had asked me to give you a call about it.
Yeah, and I always tell the dispatchers, and it's not just your police department, but anybody I deal with. Unfortunately, I have a big problem is that at my job, I'm not able to answer my phone. I can make calls out, but a lot of the times I can't receive calls because of where I work. So it gets inconvenient. But yeah, that's why I wasn't able to take your call. I'm sure you did
Okay,
call me.
no worries, no worries.
Yeah. Anyway, the reason I'm calling is because in regards to the open records request, which I recently made about and I keep mispronouncing his name, so I'm going to make sure I say it correctly. On November 2nd, Sergeant Rosas, not Rojas,
right.
but Rosas. Yeah, I keep saying Rojas. But yeah, Sergeant Rosas conducted a traffic stop on November 2nd between
Is it the one by the Murphys, right?
Yeah, right on the property of Murphy's Express, right next to the Walmart.
Yeah, I remember I was on that chain that you sent the request to.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think you put a link to the video too.
Yes, ma'am. And
yeah. So, I got you.
So that's the stop, and then Officer Sierra was his, partner on that stop, and then I think also Officer Campbell briefly stopped by.
Okay.
And so anyway, that's the stop, and then there was 4 Hispanic men that were detained, and the Border Patrol was involved. Anyway, during that stop, or after that stop, obviously I made the open records request for the documents of that traffic stop. Now, originally, Cynthia Luna sent me the CAD report, and then after a few days, finally, I now got the citation, which I kept asking for, which for whatever reason wasn't originally sent. But now I'm still missing something else, and that is the probable cause affidavit.
For the stop?
Yes, the stop was for a defective stop lamp or, something minor, some minor traffic violation, but it still was, Class C criminal misdemeanor. So there should be a probable cause affidavit that goes with that citation.
Yeah, the way it works is we issue the citation with a ticket, the writer, like the electronic one, and then it goes in through the system, and then the court processes it, and then they have that affidavit you're talking about. So let me make a note here. And let me see if people are still in the court right now. And, because, I think I know what you're talking about. Give me a second.
Okay.
All right, there you go. Do you have the ticket with you by any chance?
Let me pull it up. Hold on.
Okay.
Hello?
Hold on. Give me 1 second, okay? Sorry.
All right.
Valdez?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. I submitted a CR3 earlier this morning. Did you have to approve it, or is it the supervisor from shift from patrol?
I think anybody can approve it, but I'll take a look at it before I go.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye now.
Bye.
Okay, sorry. On the ticket there should be a number that says E. It starts with an E, on the, honestly, the top left or top right hand corner.
Yes, I have that number.
Yeah, then let's have it.
Okay. It's E as in Echo 0070127.
Okay. And then do you have the guy's last name on that ticket? I want to say it starts with a C, no?
Yeah, his last name is, I believe it's Casarino, or maybe it's Ramos, but it just says name, Ramos Jose Catarino.
Yeah, Ramos.
Carino. Yep.
Yeah, okay, so then what they were, yesterday, what they asked me to call you about was actually that, that citation that goes with that call card. Like that particular gentleman, doesn't appear on the call card because they called him out by, driver license number. So when we request somebody's, wanted status, through a driver license number, then it doesn't register their name and date of birth the way it does on the regular CAD when the officer gives it by the radio. So they had just asked me to call you and let you know that.
Okay, and I appreciate that.
And then
yeah.
Today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna email Cynthia, and Anna, who is the court clerk, that as part of that request you had indicated all. And I apologize for the extended processing time. The best way to describe that. It's just that this whole records request process, they're still fine tuning it. So, Cynthia was never a dispatcher, so she wouldn't know, to read the call card. As far as she knows, you just want the call card, so here it is. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have always been pretty good about doing open records, and as long as you guys aren't deliberately and maliciously trying to keep me from records, then I can work with you.
No, yeah, and then that's when you said the ticket, went to citation. Well, there's a citation, but they didn't think to give you the affidavit. You know what I mean? And again, just to explain the process, the way it works is the person, gets issued a citation on the side of the road, and it's on a device that looks like, well, it is a cell phone. It's like an Android, and they're department issued. So then, they get their citation, and then the officer will then hit a button which creates a sync, and then the court gets that paperwork or that data. So then from that data, it generates the actual affidavit, and then the officer is called in to sign it. You know what I mean?
Yes, but
so
the
that's
police officer...
Yeah, that's how the... I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt, but the police officer that issues the citation, which is a citation in lieu of custodial arrest, he is supposed to write a probable cause affidavit himself or herself.
You know what? I'm gonna, this is one of those things where, if you want to contest the validity of that, you should talk to the city lawyers or make, you know what I'm saying? Because the way it's worked since we've had ticket writers for about 10 years now, and, I'd be willing to, bet $1 that it's legit, is that, the device generates, a cookie cutter type of affidavit, and then the officer signs to it. You know what I mean? That's just how it works.
Okay, but
it is way above my pay grade to say that they should work or shouldn't work a certain way. So you're more than welcome to file whatever grievance you think should be filed. And I can tell you, Andre, I've been working here for 18 years, and I've worked with along other police departments, never at other police departments. But here, the way the tickets work is, our old paper tickets had a little pre-made affidavit, on the back, and you would just sign the back of the ticket when you turned it in. So, we've never sat there and typed out an affidavit, per traffic stop, if that makes sense. So I get what you're saying, but also there's always been one. It's just a cookie cutter one, that goes by the I guess by the date and the location and it auto-populates the violation, and you know what I'm saying? So that's how it works, and I'm just explaining the process to you as part of what it is, and if you feel it's not or it shouldn't be, then you're more than welcome to talk to the chief, make an appointment, or talk to the mayor, or call the ACLU, or I don't know what have you, right? Like, or see if you can talk to our lawyers from the city. But the brothel system is a pretty standard system in America, and that's the system we use, if that makes sense.
Now, you refer to it as what? A Bravo system?
That's the name of the program.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if that's how your Bravo system works for issuing citations, and you're saying that there's just a boilerplate standard probable cause affidavit that's somehow entered into the system for each different motor vehicle citation, then I guess that's how you do it. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, yeah, I do have issues with that type of system, but that's a whole other can of worms we can open later. For right now,
yeah,
I'm just trying to.
And then that's actually and then just for your peace of mind, when the officer's issuing that particular, and you're you're more than welcome to come on a ride along and see how it works, right? I know you don't trust the system or whatever, but you know me, and we can go down the road and do a couple of traffic stops, and you can critique them or whatever. I don't think you'll be able to record people's sensitive data, like when I'm calling out date of birth or stuff like that. But you're more than welcome to to look. I can certainly talk to the chief about letting you take pictures of the the screens that we're working on without people's information, of course. But we can always look at that if you're curious to see it in process. You know what I mean? So that's how the door's always open. In other words, but also when we use that same program called Brazos, the officer will put in there, the stop data, which is the required by Texas information. So that's where we put it's a Hispanic male, white male, black male, whether or not the officer could see the person's race before the stop, the reason for the stop, which was a moving violation, pre-existing knowledge, if it's somebody that is wanted, what have you, all that information that we capture per stop is also entered there. And that's reported to the state from that same system.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate all the details. Yes.
Yeah. So just and so what I will do now is I will send an email to Cynthia, Anna, and I'll go ahead and copy you on that email so that they can work on getting you that affidavit or letting you know why the Attorney General has to get involved, as with any open request. Okay.
Well, at the very least, before, because you're kind of, I believe, maybe getting slightly defensive and jumping to conclusions.
No, not at all.
Or I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean you're anticipating that there's going to be some sort of grievance or complaint. I'm not even at that stage. I'm just gathering facts right now. And
no, I'm just saying you may, any member of this community can and should, if they feel something's not up to par or on the up and up, so to speak, anybody should be able to speak up about it. So that's just one of those things. With transparent system here, I have no reason. I don't own this place. It's not mine. I take ownership of what we do to try to do it better, but it's not mine in the sense that if something's being done wrong, I want to hide it. I'd rather it be pointed out and then find a way to improve it, if that makes sense.
Yes, it definitely makes sense, and I'm very pleased to hear those words come out of your mouth. And I definitely appreciate your service. in my response to what you just said is I would like to let you know that one concern that I do have, just briefly, when I overall looked at the whole scene of this traffic stop, that immediately came to my mind is that this particular traffic stop, the man was stopped for a minor equipment violation. Then the stop was, lengthened by a significant period of time, and the United States Border Patrol was called, and the driver and all the passengers were then taken out of the car and interviewed and interrogated as to, I assume, their immigration status and then any other, criminal history and all that. And the reason I'm bringing all this up is because in 2015, the United States Supreme Court had a case called Rodriguez versus the United States. So if you don't mind, I'd like you to write that down on one of your sticky notes there. And if you're not familiar with it, I'd like you, whenever you have the chance, to go over that case. Because in 2015, the United States Supreme Court laid down as case law that no traffic stop is to be extended unnecessarily and unreasonably unless a police officer develops separate and distinct reasonable suspicion or probable cause of a separate crime. Like, they have to stay on mission for the original violation if that's all they have. For example, this was just a broken taillight or whatever, minor equipment violation of a vehicle. If there's no separate reasonable articulated suspicion of another crime for another investigation, then as far as the Supreme Court's concerned, that police officer is only supposed to, proceed with the minor equipment violation citation, and then that's it, let them go. But obviously that's not what happened at this particular traffic stop, is that the passenger driver were...
I mean, to that end, I haven't watched the body cam footage, to see up close what happened. But I can tell you from experience that, we normally don't give a shit about people, sorry about the language, about people's nationality. It's not something that ever really comes up, on any traffic stop. What I can tell you is that when we are on stops and we do come across, people who may be evasive and in providing their information in the sense that it's not consistent, or you don't know their identity, and this would be the case in the case of somebody who doesn't have identification, but also give me 1 second. Be safe. Hey, we're off on Monday, Tuesday, okay? Yeah, I know. Okay. No, we're off Tuesday. Monday, Tuesday, because we're on the parade on Saturday. No, we're off just Monday. We come back Tuesday. Oh, that's what I thought I was saying. No, I meant Sunday, Monday. I'm sorry. All right. Sorry. Everybody's running through here. Okay, so then, so it just depends. And, every so often we'll call somebody, to identify the person, for whatever, violation, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't know what happened there. I'd have to review the dash cam footage, but I completely agree with you. Which is why we don't stop somebody and then request a dog and then be like, hey, well, just just stand by for the dog 30 minutes, for funsies. You know what I mean?
Well, I hear what you're saying, but that's exactly why I'm bringing up what I'm bringing up, is that on this side...
So I'm going to look into it. I'll review the body cam footage just to see what the basis of it was. And then, I'll go ahead and I'm not in the patrol division anymore. I'm actually running the criminal investigations now, so I will go ahead and brief with their lieutenant, which is Lieutenant Jesus Ortega. And, that way we can see exactly, what the deal was.
Okay, so you're saying that now, this is new information to me, because I don't know everything, of course, but you're saying now the HCPD Patrol Division is now being led by Lieutenant Ortega?
Yeah, before it was Ortega and myself.
Okay, but now it's just Ortega.
Yeah, because I got assigned to crimes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, and I'm not telling you guys how to run your thing. I'm just trying to figure out who's in charge of what.
Yeah, no,
but yeah,
that's all good. So yeah, he'll be. I think he'll be in a little later, so I'll get it with him. Did you want him to give you a call back to discuss that, or?
Unfortunately, yeah, same situation. I can't receive calls, at least not during the work hours, which of course makes everything inconvenient. But I can call him at some point in the future, and of course I can receive an email from him, which I can then respond to. But yeah, if he tries to call, 90% chance I won't be able to answer.
Okay, well that'll work, and so I'll look up that case law. I do remember it from training, from and specifically, yeah, because I mean, as far as like standing by for the sniffs and stuff like that. I know.
It's not just.
And this is also the case for like, there's some like if somebody has a warrant and the verification doesn't get done within 20 minutes, like you cut the person loose. So like. There's a bunch of like little stipulations on certain situations where you do and where you don't, and I just want to make sure that because I know you were also asking about that like STONEGARDEN grant that our officers participate in and all that good stuff. But the thing is, like at the end of the day, we're cops, not Border Patrol, so I wouldn't want to be holding up somebody like 45 minutes for what should be like a Border Patrol deal. You know what I mean? So.
Right, you're right. That's actually one of my other concerns. We can get into that later, but as far as I'm concerned, the more money that a police department, not just yours, but any police department, the more money that the federal government gives for Operation STONEGARDEN to any police department, that in effect turns you guys into a de facto Border Patrol agent. Because if you guys are getting, 25, 50%, 75% of your budget from the federal government for Border Patrol Operation STONEGARDEN, and yeah, that kind of turns you into de facto Border Patrol agents. But yeah, I'm going to let you go for right now. I have to get back to work. I really appreciate you talking to me. Yeah. And,
no worries. So if you want to check in with me sometime Tuesday and after, or if not, you can check in with Ortega. I do believe he's off on Tuesday, though, so you might want to try Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost Thanksgiving. It's a holiday week, so I'm gonna leave you guys alone for now. But yeah, I just want to make this phone call today. Since this is just before Thanksgiving, and I'll be in touch with you guys later. But the one thing I do want to leave you with, at the very least, after this long phone call, and I do appreciate
Rodriguez versus United States.
Oh yeah, that definitely. Yeah, if you could just look up that case again at your convenience and read over that case, and then also, because of the type of traffic stop Sergeant Rosas did on November 2nd, I believe Rodriguez versus United States falls squarely into that type of situation. That's why I bring up that case. But then also, like I said, I need that probable cause affidavit, if one exists, for this citation.
Yeah, no, there's one. There's one for sure.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that's what I need, and that's my request for right now. That basically this phone call in regards to that probable cause affidavit. This is like a clarification of my open records request. I'm not completed with this open records request because I still need that document, which I haven't received.
What's your email?
It's Andre Lagergren71 at gmail.com, first and last name, 71, all lowercase, no spaces.
There it is. I was sure it was just gonna pop in, but no, I had to do a little bit of searching. And then I'm gonna send it to Anna. Okay, so I'm gonna shoot off that email now, and they'll get a hold of you in order to fulfill that. Okay.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Valdez. Thank you for your service.
You're very welcome. Have a good afternoon and a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, and I'll be in touch.
Bye now. Yep. Yes, bye.